live. Hi guys. What's poppin'? How are you? It's your girl Bracia, aka Kiss by Bo. Okay, hold up. Let me go on Instagram and go live. Okay, that's how you do it. See now I got it. Hey guys, what's poppin'? It's your girl Bracia, aka Kiss by Bo, and we are back with another live. You feel me? A live episode of the podcast. Ask Me Mom, Wife Designer Equals God, right? And we have a special guest. I got to bring her to the stage. We have Miss Davia Williams Stevenson. You feel me? Miss Davia is a true gem, y'all. If y'all know her, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, she is a true gem. She is somebody that is great to have in your corner. Listen, Miss Davia, I call her my mentor. You feel me? Because when I need to talk to somebody, she has so much wisdom and spiritual insight. It's just a beautiful thing. So listen, without further ado, Miss Davia, introduce yourself to the people. Tell them who you are, what you do, your podcast, what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
All
Look, you
right.
drink over there. I'm kind of sad I ain't got my drink, but you know all that. But tell them
So
who
you
you are.
peeped that, and it's matching my shirt today.
Listen, I said, where my
My
wine
little
at? I
favorite
need
summer
that.
cocktail.
Come on, tell the
Uh,
people who you are, what you do. Yeah.
Listen, okay. So she said, my name is Davia Williams Stevenson. I am a licensed clinical counselor, an author. Wrote my first book last year. I have a podcast, Tales from the Shaker, that I love. It's in its fourth season. We're close to wrapping up the fourth season. Life coach. I just am using the life that God has given me. I have quite a story, and my hope is that I will continue to learn and grow and share with others so that they can do the same. That's really my mission. And so much of what I share is personal lessons. You know, any finger pointing at you, the thumb is pointing at me. I know we're going to talk about fashion wellness and maybe some, body issues, those types of things. I have them too, though I speak on them. And because I know it's true, I strive toward those things that are true, but that
Mm,
doesn't mean that I don't have my own struggles, even at this big age. Okay.
okay.
So
Come
we
on.
continue to evolve. We continue to evolve.
I
That's the
love
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Amen. And
Yeah.
that's half the battle. We do continue to evolve. So I
Yeah.
want to just jump on into it.
Mhm.
Tell me about self-acceptance and what does that look like for you? And how has that changed you?
Yeah, I would say that's a great question. Self acceptance. It comes in phases and stages, I would say. I
Mhm.
would say I'm still growing toward full acceptance of myself. Um, so I think um, to live a life
Mhm.
whereas I fully accept who I am, I first of all acknowledge, now you and
Mhm.
I both share a faith.
Amen.
And so when I decide that I fashion my identity based on who God says that I am, who am I not
Mhm.
to accept what He has
Come
created
on.
and the story that He has allowed me to live, even the parts I would prefer. There's a lot of parts of my story that I would much prefer if I was writing a book on
Come on.
me. I would not have chosen. However, I believe that God, in His infinite wisdom and kindness, will use anything that you give Him for His
Mhm.
glory and for your good.
I'll
And
say something.
so the more I lean into who I believe God has made me to be, the more that I accept the ups and downs and the crazy twists and turns of my own story, the more that I am allowed to be grace filled toward
Mm,
myself.
mm.
Um, I feel like I'm surrounded by people who love me well and speak the truth. We
Amen.
can even talk about that. I had a conversation with a really good girlfriend last night,
Yeah.
and I had offended her. And I knew there was tension. I knew there was. I really hadn't. I thought we'd get to it. I never thought of myself as being avoidant, but I didn't lean in. I didn't
Yeah.
start that conversation. And she did. And she said some things that was hard for me to hear, particularly
Mm,
because I hurt her. But let me tell you, when you accept that those lessons that come towards you, that those people that God places in your life are the ones that should be, that I could receive what she had to share with me with the love that it was given,
yeah.
grow from it, seek
Mm,
forgiveness. We had some work to do, and it is good. I believe, I'm convinced that our friendship is even greater. It will be even deeper moving forward because we weathered a conflict with grace and with truth.
mm.
What can you do, right?
Hard conversation.
Speak the truth in love. It was a very hard conversation.
How do you do that? How do you? Because I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I don't like to have those hard conversations, but I feel like as I'm gotten older, I do see myself leaning into that, and it's crazy because I used to shy away from it. Look,
Yeah.
offline, I gotta talk to you about some stuff, but
Yeah.
I used to lean away from certain
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
But now I'm over here like, Bracia, if you don't speak up, nobody's gonna speak up for you. Your mama in Akron, and she will, but it's like you got to be able to speak up for yourself. So how do
Yeah.
you lean into those hard conversations? Like it's
Yeah.
difficult.
It depends on what's at stake.
Mm.
I think there are difficult conversations I won't have because I've weighed the relationship.
Mm.
This particular friend means the world to me, and it hurt me that I hurt her, and I
Mm.
felt honored that she loved me enough to say this was wrong, and let me tell you how I felt it, how I received it. I didn't see it. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
hurt her on purpose. But when I saw that, that there was another way to interpret my
Mm-hmm.
actions and what I had said, and that it meant what it meant to her, it was important to her, it was important to me. And so I took it. I,
Yeah.
I, I wasn't like, oh, please tell me more about myself. That
Yeah.
was not
Yeah.
how it felt in the moment. But I knew where it was coming from, and I know what she means to me. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it was only building. But yeah, look, I've been married a long, long time,
Mm-hmm.
and we weren't good at that in the beginning, and we're not always good at it,
Yeah.
even now. Nobody's gonna get a new personality. You
Yeah,
can't get re-raised.
you can't. You can't.
How you grew up was how you grew up.
That's
The
true.
things that happen to you are the things that happen to you. Those traumas that you have to work through, learn through, what have you, happens. They shaped you. You're
Yeah.
not going to be remade.
Yeah.
However, when you understand those impacts and you're willing to try, like sometimes my husband and I, we might take 3 stabs at the same topic. At
Mm.
this point now, we know that there's no rush. Nobody's going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We love each other and mean this for each other's good. So if we got to take a pause and come back at it tomorrow, that's what we'll do.
Yeah. And
That's
you
what
know
we'll do.
what? And I feel like a lot of times we have to understand that. I remember Tamar had said, look, we moving this way. I remember Tamar when her and Vince was on the show. And I'm a reality TV junkie. I watch them all. You feel me? And she was saying how when her and Vince would get in arguments, she would say, I hate getting arguments. Every time I get in an argument with you, I feel like it's over. We gonna be over, and you see they are done. You feel me? But she was saying like I don't want to keep in arguments with you because I always feel like it's going to be over. So I feel like even as and you're a wife, a lot of people come on here. We are all different, but it's just like what advice would you give to a young wife? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause Charles and I mean, we've been together for a second, but it's not even a year that we've been married yet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So what
yeah,
advice do you give
yeah.
to having those hard conversations with your spouse?
Yeah, I guess I would say, first of all, you can get better at it if
Mm.
you realize that whatever the issue is, yeah, each other, I'm sorry, I got my little fan on, like I'm hot in here. That, hey, Chancellor,
Let me tell you, I literally was like,
Mama giving her
please
opinion, her attention to somebody else.
listen. I said, I'm weaning, right? I'm weaning. And he know how to get me. He know how to get me. I ain't got no time for Chancellor. But you were saying, well, I'm sorry.
Out, child. I don't know. Let me back it up. Let's see. What was I saying? You asked me about how did I learn to begin to lean into those things
Yeah,
or
especially
something
like
like
with
that.
with being married, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we got some people in here, and my best friend there, she's married, she's 5 years in. But how do you have those conversations, those hard conversations with your husband? Sometimes it is difficult.
Oh, for sure. And so there's a couple things because I love working with couples. That's
Mm-hmm.
my sweet spot. And I said a couple things. What I said a few minutes ago is that you're not going to get a new personality.
Mm-hmm.
Can get re-raised, and when you can come to an understanding about how those things affect your perspective and how you receive love or criticism or input, that's helpful, then it can just be information. It doesn't have to be personal. So much of what we take personally really isn't personal. It's a
Mm-hmm.
dynamic between you. And so when you come to understand that you are on the same team and
Yeah.
that whatever it is that is causing the discord, that's the enemy.
Mm.
So you work together on that thing that causes the space. Eric is not my problem. I
Mm-hmm.
am not his problem. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is whatever the thing is that has caused us to be disconnected. And
Mm.
so we work on that thing. And here's the other thing about that thing. Because most of our issues are rooted in, like I said, your upbringing, your personality development, they're going to be your issues. Your issues will be your issues. And
Yeah.
so, but you only are going to have 3 to 5 issues. You might find
Mm.
100 different ways to argue and bump against those issues, but you only have
Mm.
3 to 5 issues. And
Mm.
I really believe in therapy. We've gone to therapy many times over the years, whether we're in crisis or not. Um,
How
but
do you find a good therapist? Because it's like a doctor. It's like finding a good doctor. How do you find a good therapist? Because I've seen people who they
yeah,
try therapy and then it don't work out with that therapist, and then they're like, well, then they don't like it. So they's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna give up. So what do you tell to
yes,
those people?
yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the person of the therapy. You got to find the person, just like your friends. You got to find a person who speaks your language, who you feel seen by and not judged by. Therapists
Mm.
are all, they can all be well trained and not be the one for you. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it requires some patience to try
Mm.
again. And when it's taken you a long time to decide to make that call, then you finally go in and you try to lay out your story and it doesn't feel right and you certainly don't want to do it again. I mean, one of the first things I do is I validate, look, you just made a power move. People
Mm.
feel like they go to therapy because they're at their wits' end and they don't have any skills, they just need help. And I'm like, you just made the biggest power move to
Mm.
choose a resource outside of yourself to help you
Yeah.
see yourself. That's
Yeah.
not weak, that's powerful. And
Yeah.
so you have the power to choose the tool that's going to work the best for you. And
Yeah.
so sometimes that's more than one
Mm.
conversation. Other times it might mean that you're not really ready to do the work and you're shopping around for somebody to tell you what you want to hear and not what you
Yes.
need to hear.
You
And
looking for yes
so
saying it
that
ain't yes
that
when
that
you.
can take some sorting. That can take some
Yeah.
sorting. I say approach that with patience. And I also say don't add therapy onto a busy life. Cut something out. Make room for it. There is no therapist that's going to heal you. The
Mm.
therapist helps to give you a roadmap for you to do the work.
Mm.
So you can't say therapy didn't work. Well, how much work did you do with what you
Mm.
learned in therapy?
No, that's
And
real.
so, no,
That's
that's real. A 1 hour a week or every other week is not going to change your life.
mm.
What you do with the insight you get,
Mm.
with some guidance, right? It's nice to have somebody that can empathize with what's going on, that is
Mhm.
trained to guide you through it, but has the bird's eye view.
Yeah.
So I can see a map that you can't see, or roadblocks ahead that maybe you can't see, or a clear path that
Mm.
maybe you can't see when you're in the midst of something that feels hurtful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trust my roadmap, but I'm also, you're the powerful person in the dynamic. Your
Mhm.
therapist should empower you.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
That's real, and
yeah,
like you said, it does take patience. I
it
know
does.
a plethora of couples, talking about couples therapy and stuff like that, and it's like, it definitely takes patience. I know when me and Charles was going through, I don't know why we didn't call you on the phone. I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, we could have called you for premarital counseling for real. Like, you didn't counsel me just one-on-one talking, you know what I mean? Story. But like when we was going through premarital counseling, we was
Mhm.
working with our pastor that we was going to church with before, and the timing was just off. It just really wasn't working, and they was going through a lot of stuff too. And we were ready, but it was just like it just didn't work out, and I don't think it was supposed to work out. So then we actually just went to my pastor who actually married us,
Mhm.
baptized me when I was 6. My
Oh
parents
wow.
to this day still go to that church. Shout out to Pastor
Okay.
Stallworth out there in Akron, Messiah. But he sat down with us for like 2-3 hours, and got in the Bible, and he was saying, now we ain't gonna talk about having kids. You already did that. Y'all wouldn't got over that hump. Y'all got it. He said, but what we're gonna talk about is like what God looks like in your marriage and your relationship. And it was really good. And it was like it was very powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it was very it wasn't like a whole, like 6 weeks or whatever, because we was gonna initially do like 6 weeks with the other pastor, but it wasn't even that long. It was very simple and sweet, but it got to the point. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, I feel like a lot of times, kind of switching gears a little bit, but when it comes to therapy, I feel like a lot of times we can be really self-critical, doing a lot of self-critiques. How
Mhm.
can we turn that self-critique into self-celebration?
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna steal that one. Self critique into self celebration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we're in a hurry to do a lot of things, and I
Mm.
don't think we just turn it into self celebration. I
Yeah.
think we learn our way to embracing those things that we can celebrate. And
Yeah.
I don't know that you should never be critical. I think you need to be observant of yourself. There are things that you need to correct that
Mm.
requires a critical eye, as in a critical thinking eye, not as an accusing eye. You don't have to accuse yourself, right? We talk about the enemy as the accuser of the brethren, right? But some truths are hard. You
Yeah.
know, I know, if we're going to use the Bible and the words of Christ as our model, like he was harsh at times,
Yeah.
but it was truth and
Yeah.
it was love and it led to freedom. And
Mm.
so there are times when having a critical eye, as in evaluative, observational, that type of eye toward yourself, you can't get to celebrate. You don't want to skip from,
Yeah.
I'm no longer criticizing myself. I'm just celebrating. Well, sis, there might be some things you need to work on or change,
Mhm.
or maybe there's some truth
Yeah.
in that criticism. Um, our problem is that we lean too heavily on on one side or the other. It's really interesting. Even in this conversation I had with my friend
Mhm.
last night, she said to me, because I said something that I was struggling with, she says, "I think you're just too hard on yourself."
Mm.
And I'm like, that is my tendency. I don't get a new personality because I got new skills and more life experience. It is still my tendency. I
Mm.
am aware of my tendency, so I don't get swallowed up in it anymore. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, there's that. That's what that is again.
You know,
Okay.
that's real.
Yeah.
That is real. That speaks volumes to me because I literally went on a. I'm like, how can I say this without saying it? You know what I'm saying? Because folk be
Yeah, I
watching.
know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I went somewhere and I was gonna be around a lot of people that don't necessarily they tolerate brace you. You can know when people tolerate you and people who celebrate you. You know who
Yeah.
people who like
Yeah.
rock you, brace you, and
Yeah.
people who be like, she's here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but I was really trying to figure out like, Lord, how I'm about to do this because we was around these people for a second, right? A couple days, and I was like, I got to really make sure I'm able to I got to make sure that I'm able to be myself, not get offended, X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna tell you, God is so real. And because I was praying all day all week about favor and grace, not favor, forgiveness and grace, forgiveness and grace, forgiveness and grace. And it's crazy how in the midst of all that, I'm texting my cousins and friends throughout this event, and literally I'm over here, they pissing me off, and I got to forgive them. It was like it really turned to them. But long story short, I learned about discipline, and people not gonna change. I can only do what I can do. Like I can only control me. So if I get offended, that's on me. Like how folk are. You know how this individual is. So how dare you keep falling for the same old okie doke?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Hmm.
beautiful now, you know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
really had to discipline my mind.
Hmm.
Like
That's good.
at
Okay.
this event, I had to discipline my mind and discipline
Hmm.
like my mouth instead of me being flippant and trying to come back, whatever. Prisha, you ain't gotta say nothing. Who do you gotta prove anything to? You know what I'm saying? And that was what I learned. It was crazy because I was like, ooh, at this event, I was like, am I gonna drink? Because I say if I get any type of liquor in me, I'm going off. You know what I'm saying? And I said, and my
Okay.
homegirl said, "Don't drink it all, Bracia." I was like, "No, because I don't ever. Because I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to. I need to be disciplined. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Drinking or not, I need to be disciplined. And I feel like that is a thing for people. What do you feel about? How do you feel about discipline within yourself?
Well, I think that's where it starts
Mm,
because you can't discipline anybody else.
mm,
And,
right. We
and,
all
and
grown.
yeah, that yourself is the only person you have the power to discipline. Now, your young child, as you're training them up, right? That's what discipline is teaching and trainings. So teaching and training yourself to operate maximally. But where we get in trouble is we're trying to change other people. And the truth of the matter is, most of what folks do is not about you.
Mm,
It may rub you, it may interface with you, but it's not really about you. If
mm,
someone's got to be um, hateful and smart ass and all of those things, that's really about something going on in them.
yeah,
I don't take that personally.
yeah.
That's really
And
not
that's
about me.
and that's what I had to learn. Like, girl, this ain't got nothing to do with you. You be you always. This has nothing to do with you. And that's what I
Mhm.
really, really had to like kind of grasp my head around. Like, girl, you're good. And it's crazy because I was in my Bible study group. That was something I was praying about to overcome. And they asked me, so how was the event? And I was like, to be absolutely honest, those people or they didn't change. I just corrected my behavior. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
just know,
Mhm.
Bracia, you don't. feed into none of that. The whole armor of
Mhm.
God is real, and that's what I had to have on.
Mhm.
And I feel
Okay.
like I did, and I was like, I did good with that one. But I feel like when it comes to that, that's all comes to self acceptance and knowing who you are.
It
Tell me
does.
about when you had to, you kind of switching gears. We're doing self acceptance, but switching gears to body acceptance, right? Because I know you
Huh,
had a whole
girl,
you,
got a whole.
yeah, you
That's
have
still
a whole
a.
story. You have an entire story when it comes to body acceptance.
I do. I
But
do. I do.
what does that mean to you in real life body acceptance?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I had to start with some facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts are, I get one. That's it. This is the body I was born into.
Yeah.
This is the body I'm going to die from.
Yeah.
This is the body that I've born children. This
Mm-hmm.
is the body that has taken me to places I didn't know I get to see. This is the body that has embraced my kids and embraced my husband. This is the body that has fought back through pain and um, struggle. This is the body where I experienced joy. This
Mm-hmm.
is the body that has been skinny and heavy and gone through surgeries and been. This is the only one that I have. She has done a hell of a lot that I didn't think she could do. How come I beat her up?
Mm.
Well, she got a scar or a lump or a little fat here or a stretch mark there, or why don't I celebrate her?
Yeah.
I got stretch marks because I gained weight. Well, why might I have gained weight? Well, it might have been because I had children, or it could have been because I was on that medicine that made me gain weight, or it
Mm-hmm.
could have been because I got through that depression where the
Mm.
only thing I did was eat cookies and chips and I put on 20 pounds, but I got through it. So at that point in time, my body was heavier.
Mm.
And as I move through that thing, the body is lighter.
Mm.
Or it just is the evidence of the story that we're living. It's the vehicle that carries us through our lives.
Yeah.
Our bodies need to be honored at whatever state they're in. We have to fight for that
Yeah.
because we live in a space where we have images that are coming at us and telling us what is beautiful and what is not. But even that is trendy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when I was younger, we was not doing thick fit. The big booty was not the thing.
Mommy said these girls are stick now. She said they fat, Brace. Ain't nothing but just a bunch of fat girls. I said,
And
Mom.
it's going back out of style. The trend is changing again.
Yeah.
Remember when you were like, I'm too skinny. I always want to be thick. Girl,
Uh-huh.
you coming back in style. Okay.
Come on.
Let me just
Come on. Because I was over here about to do a whole plan to get bigger. I said, Brace, you better own what you got right now.
own the body that God chose to put you in. Your job is to care for it, to be a
Mm-hmm.
good steward of your life. But right? And if we judge ourselves by the current trend or the images that frankly are not about you either, they're about selling products or processes
Mm-hmm.
to keep you addicted to whatever.
Yep.
It ain't about you.
Yeah.
The cosmetic companies do not care about you.
They don't. They just want to sell.
They want profit. And
Yeah.
so it behooves them to continue to change the fashion.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You're a fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
There will be elements of your creativity that will likely be staples. This is a bracer, this is a kiss by bow. We do this. There's
Yeah.
something that will be the classics of you. And then you'll shift here and there with the trends. That's just fine. And I want to look good. I want to feel good when I wear a kiss by bow. But let me tell you what, like you said, if I don't feel good before I put it on, then I'm just putting on a costume or a mask.
Fashion wellness, that's real. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's such a thing when it comes to people, and it's like how I even came to meet you through Miss with Nike. I worked at Nordstrom, and that's where fashion wellness came from.
Yeah.
I'm working there. This lady, and I ain't know nothing about this. I'm young. She looked like she was pregnant, but she was postpartum. She had just had a baby. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
And
mhm.
so I'm over here like, I asked her, did she want some like shapewear? And she was like, or something like that. And she was like, no, I just had a baby. I'm like, oh, okay. She didn't feel good in her body. So I ain't gonna lie, saying I don't think she perhaps needed even to be shopping at that point. She needed to really do some like self-acceptance. She needed to do a whole fashion wellness workshop. You feel me? Because
Mhm.
it now I understand, after this baby, like I tell people, like, everybody's body is different. After I had Chancellor, now I'm still a nursing mom. I'm
Mhm.
smaller than I was pre-baby. I'm like high school size, which is like, girl, what? You know what I'm saying? But some people like, oh my goodness, I love it. Some people like, girl, you need to gain weight. But it's like, what do I like? You know what I'm saying? How do you? Because I know you, like you said, your weight has fluctuated and you have been through a lot
Sure.
of different things. You feel me?
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
how did you love your body in these different stages, or did you love it? And if you
I
didn't,
didn't.
growth.
I did not. I had different stages. There were times when I could celebrate and times when I couldn't. I know when I first had my first illness was bone cancer when I was a teenager. And it's a miraculous story that I'm here and I have an incredible story. And I celebrate it. And I remember my dad helping me with that. I have a scar that runs from below my knee all the way up my outer leg up to the top of my thigh. It is 2/3 of my leg is a scar on the outside. And that leg is shaped a little different from the other leg just because of muscle mass is not as strong. But I remember my dad saying from the get-go, that was my badge of honor. My
Mm,
badge of honor. And I remember being strong enough at one point. I'd gone to, I can't remember what it was now. Maybe I was getting some x-rays. I felt like it was a medical technician.
mm,
Um, it's been so long ago now, but I just remember he was a young man and he said, yeah, he was inappropriate actually. He was talking about you, well, you have a nice body, but shame you can't wear a miniskirt anymore because the scar on my leg. And I remember thinking, well, yes, I can if I choose to. That's my
right.
badge of honor. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. At that time, it was my badge of honor. But there have been other times throughout my life where I remember there was a period of time, I'm going to get real candid,
Tell the people.
where I didn't realize over the years that I had stopped looking at my body in
Mm,
the mirror. I would get dressed, but I had stopped looking at it. And I had this mirror. It's so funny. Have you seen those little they're door mirrors? They look like they're trimmed in brass, but it's fake brass or whatever, and you're supposed to put it on a door. I had a little mirror like that I must have kept for 20 years. It moved from Oklahoma to Chicago to New Jersey to Ohio. I kept that mirror just leaning up against it. It always made you look slender and tall.
mhm,
My friend used to call it the funhouse mirror. I probably
mhm,
didn't look at my body until I had my clothes on and then looked in the funhouse mirror. And I remember a time, and this was after I also had breast cancer 20 years after that. And I didn't even know that I'd stopped looking at my body. And it was a an encounter with God, frankly,
mm,
who the message that I received in my spirit. This is not a message I got directly from scripture, right? This is what I received in my spirit from the Lord. And it was, you think that you are less than because of your scars. But
mm,
in reality, these scars, because I know you forget, these scars are your points of identification with me and
mm.
your reminders of my intervention to preserve your life for my purposes.
Ooh,
Look at them. Look at them. I
ooh.
remember this day. I don't know where everybody was. I can't remember. But I remember taking all my clothes off and going to my bathroom. Had a real big mirror. My vanity mirror was tall, and with a hand mirror. And I looked at every inch of my body, like looked at every inch of my body, front, back.
Mm,
And it wasn't like a celebration. I was snotting and crying. It was painful for me to do. But I remember, look at yourself. Look at all the places where I've intervened to preserve your life for my purposes.
yeah.
I had scars too. And I remember thinking, they talk about getting your glorified body when when you go to heaven. And I'm like, one of these days, I'm not going to hurt. One of these days, I'm not going to have scars. And then I remember hearing this sermon that talked about when after Jesus came back, those few days after being transfigured, after coming back from the grave,
Hmm.
the way he authenticated himself.
Was by his scars. He showed his disciples. Yet, I was just reading that in the Bible. So yes, yes.
My scars are
Hmm.
what authenticate me, are what remind me of God's intervention,
Yeah.
right, in my life to preserve me for his purposes. I know a lot of people who died between in my journeys, and
Hmm.
I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
And so I was mad about that at first. I'm like, I thought I was going to get to have a body with no scars.
Mm,
No, I'm going to have a body with no pain. But it didn't say
mm.
I was going to have a body with no scars. Those scars are my testimony.
Yeah.
So I was 55 years old before I started wearing a bikini.
Come on, take a drink. Come on. You said you was 55 before you wore a bikini.
I did when I was young, a teenager, but not at all my adult life. World War II peace.
Wow.
Did I have the best body possible at 55? No, man. I'm not mad about how I
Hey,
look right
well,
now.
your body ain't bad. I just
I'm
think
not mad
you look
about that.
good. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it wasn't about that. It
Mm.
was another level of this is the body that I have. This is the one the Lord chose to give me.
Yeah.
He has allowed these struggles in it and continues to give me credibility and strength and places to identify with Him. And it's fine if my belly, that may not be flat or may have a scar on it, wants to feel the sunshine and the waves in the water. Does
Mm.
it deserve it less than another person's belly?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because I have an aesthetic sense, right? I'm probably wouldn't have been out there if I was looking too crazy,
Yeah.
right? But for me, that
Yeah.
was a huge step. Huge
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, and body acceptance
Hmm.
is a thing, right? And I feel like it comes from a lot of internal work, right?
Yes.
But I feel like a lot of people just kind of scratch the surface. Like, okay, it's the surface of it all. Like, how do I look, right? But then it's like I ignore how do I feel on
How
the
do I
inside.
feel? Yep.
And I feel like a
Yep.
lot of times people they do ignore that. But what do you tell somebody who don't love their body right now? Well,
Yeah.
you tell somebody don't love their body right now, they want to get surgery or they want to do a workout diet plan. What do you tell them? What do you tell
Hmm. Hmm. I'm like, sometimes we don't love our bodies. It's nothing is, we don't go from this to this. There's a journey in between.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you do love. What has that body done for you?
Mm,
Let's see what has that body done for you? Why
yeah.
don't you, so you're heavier right now. Well, does that reflect, it's just a reflection of your story. What's going on in your story?
Mm,
Oh, you just lost your mom and you found some comfort in potato chips. You
mm-hmm.
put on 20 pounds. That's how you survive. Look what your body got you through.
Right.
That's okay.
That's real.
And when you're at a place where you can eat, fruit instead of chips, if that's what you choose, then do that. And if you never do, this is the body that got you through.
Yeah.
We are to be good stewards of the life we're given. So I would encourage you to do those things that are um, preserving and building as you can. But
Yeah.
you do what you. I remember, when I go through various things, some of my workouts are limited, but I've always worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going through something and I have pain, and you have some back issues or what have you, and I can't do what I want to do, I wouldn't do anything.
Mm,
And I've got to, well, I can do something though.
yeah.
Why don't I do what I can do and honor that my body can still do some things?
Yeah.
Maybe I can't do all the things because that part needs rest. Rest is just as important. And we ignore that. We run right through it.
Listen,
We run right through it. And I imagine right now with a little one and all that you've got going on, you're like, rest. Tell me how. When does that happen?
but can I tell you, I had to learn, and I say this on previous episodes, like when I was pregnant, the Lord sat me down. Oh, I thought Miss Davy, I don't know if I told you this. I feel like I told you this. I thought I was moving to LA. Okay, I was bouncing up out of here, 2023. The Lord said, "No,
Mhm.
you not. No, you not.
Mhm.
You better sit your butt down." And when I tell you, He sat me down when I was pregnant. That was the best sleep of my life. I tell everybody,
Really good. Oh, wow. I love that.
all my friends or my friends and cousins who have their first babies and they be doing a lot when they pregnant. I said, y'all don't go to sleep because that sleep is different after this baby comes. And it's crazy how my mom, she's a queen of taking a nap. I'm a napper too. She's a
Mhm.
queen of taking a nap. But I said, and I see now why, because it's like she said, Bracia, I remember when I lived in Chicago, she said, Bracia, I ain't sleep not one time using Chicago. Me and your daddy was just up. We ain't getting no rest. She takes her naps on Saturday. She could basically sleep all day. But the thing is, when we were kids, she was, she didn't get no sleep. She had kids. So now it's like, girl, bye. And so I now even with this transitioning phase with us, right? About 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm shutting it down.
Okay.
I have to because I said I can't just keep going, 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 going. Like I
Yeah.
need to have a cutoff time. I need to
Yeah.
have a time where I can sit down and watch Netflix
Yeah.
and eat and spend
Yep.
time with my husband. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yep.
family. 'Cause I'll go, go, go and look up and be. And I used to say when I was in college, I said, I'll sleep when I die until you get sleepy.
Yep.
So
Or that death is gonna come a lot quicker. if you're not in the habit of allowing your body to rest.
Listen, last week we talked about it, and you can mention this too
Mhm.
because I didn't even go live last week because I was traveling. Rest is the new flex.
It is the new flex.
What does that mean to you?
So I wish I could credit the it'll probably come to me if I keep talking.
Mhm.
Um but when you look at my fan is so loud, but it's just so cool. Um we talk about how, God created the world in 7 days, and 7 day rested. And if you look at like Jewish tradition, the week begins with rest. It's not like Sunday is the seventh day and then you rest. Sunday is actually the first day, and
Mhm.
so it begins with rest. And the evening and the morning were the first day, not
Mm.
the morning and the evening. The evening and the morning were the first day.
Mm.
So rest really is prioritized at the beginning of the things you do. You rest so that you can. You don't rest because you've done all you can. You got nothing left.
Yes.
Flipping that mindset to
Yes.
I rest, therefore I can.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
It is. And I feel like a
It
lot of
is.
times and that's so crazy because I was talking about that last week. I said how we shouldn't rest because um we need a rest. No, that should be first. We should prioritize that. Like even on my Sundays, like my Sundays, if I'm not in the church, I'm watching
Hmm.
it. I'm watching Pastor Mike Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
On
Hmm.
YouTube. I'm
Hmm.
making us some breakfast. You know what I'm saying? We are resting. If I want to take a nap, we nap it. On Sundays in Akron, between 4 and 7 or 4 and 8, my parents' house is shut down.
Exactly.
We all sleep. We done ate Sunday, went to church, ate Sunday dinner, and we
Okay.
sleep. And it's like that's what I've used to. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
rest is
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
but I feel like people don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's
And
that
I'm
whole
not talking about it as like this structured religious practice. There are people who say the Sunday's the Sabbath, you don't do it. That's fine if
yeah,
I'm talking about the principle of it.
the
The
principle.
principle of
Mhm.
rest that is regular and cyclical for infillment, right? For
That's true.
restoration. Yeah, yeah. So I love that. Whatever your routine is for you, like for me,
Mhm.
when I went back to when I started working as a clinical counselor, started working in private practice,
Mhm.
one of the things I decided from the get-go was that I was going to have a Sabbath day, and
Mm.
my Sabbath day is Friday. And what I mean for me, what Sabbath day means, now I'm trying to build a practice and I'm taking a day off. Seem a little crazy, but that's what I was committed to. And I still pretty much
Your
do a
Friday.
good job of Friday. So what I mean by my Sabbath day is I pour into myself.
Mm.
So I might sleep longer if I need it. These days, most of the time I take a Pilates class at 6:30 in the morning, so on Fridays. But
Mhm.
that's for me. I do something different or special for my body. Usually on Fridays, I'll try to nurture so my body, my spirit, relationship, something like that. So at a minimum, I might text somebody I haven't talked to, or call them, or write a note, or meet somebody for lunch or cocktail or something. I try to nurture a relationship. I try to nurture my body, try to nurture my spirit on Fridays. I'm not doing my nails and my hair appointments because that's grooming. I'm going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So I try not to take that for my Friday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just works out that way, right? Um, but for the most part, I try to make it only those things that pour into me so
Mm.
that I can be available to do life. And so I took a hit. I
Yeah.
could have filled my calendar with clients on Friday, but I chose not to. I'm
Mhm.
glad I did. It was just never my habit to work with clients don't ask me to do the laundry on Fridays.
Mhm.
That's not happening. You can
Yeah.
make it to Monday. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah.
I just try. I try. Now, life is not perfect, but though that's the principle that I choose to. Everybody can't do that. Everybody's not in a stage of life where you could just take a day off the week. I know that's a privileged position. I was older when I went
But
back
they
to do
better
that.
figure it out. They
You
better
can
figure it
you
out.
can you can do it in little snippets. Here's
Mhm.
one thing I know, even you as a young mother of a near 2-year old, I know you going to the bathroom a few times a day. Can you take an extra 60 seconds and tense and relax your muscles or stretch your back or take a deep breath?
Mhm.
That's only for you. That only benefits you.
That's real.
No one's going to miss you.
Okay.
and you will release, you will reduce the cortisol in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that.
I've been learning myself how to get up early, like, and I've never been an early riser. I'm such a night out, like, such a night out. Like 4 o'clock in the morning is regular for me and Charles. Like, just staying up, just cuz I don't know, we just up, right?
Hmm.
But I've been learning to get up about 9:30 ish to like read my Bible and just kind of be up and read my Bible and just sit there while everybody's
Mm.
sleep and just like kind of pray over my, not kind of, but to pray over my family, all that good stuff. Because it's my mama always used to say, like, Bert should get up and, early riser, right? When I actually did it, it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. It's like time for me. Like, I ain't even gonna get out the bed. I'm just laying there, reading my
Hmm.
Bible, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
just it's just time for me to not have to look after nobody, take care of nobody, talk to nobody. And it's actually kind of beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Good.
took me almost 2 years to get to this point, but
Oh, that's not long. That's good. That's
look,
good.
thank you, because I thought that was a little long. But listen, but tell me this though.
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded with your vision when the world is constantly selling perfection, whether that's like perfection with our bodies, perfection with, the hustle culture, like you gotta hustle, or or even perfection when it comes to internal validation with yourself. How do you stay
Hmm.
grounded with your own vision in this world?
Hmm. That's a really good question, and I said I want to answer that honestly, because I think some things at this point in my life,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know that I'm as crowded by
Mm,
other people's things as I used to be.
yeah.
Not that I'm not, but I don't think it carries the weight that it used to.
Mm-hmm.
The thing for me right now that I'm loving about life is that I'm trying new things and doing new things, and I'm certainly learning from people that are younger than me. But I'm
You
finding
got
an
a team of
energy
young
and
folk around
growth.
you, Miss Davia. You got a team of young folk around you. I'd be like, you
I
better
do.
keep going. I
I
love
do. But you know what? Even though I have a team that, I mean, I work with them, I hire them, but I have always had young people around me.
it. Mm,
They just find me.
yeah.
And so I love it. I think that's one of the gifts that I've been given, is that it keeps me young, it keeps me learning new things and engaged, and gives purpose to my story. Because folks want to sit at my feet and hear what I have to say, and I'm like,
Mhm.
y'all know that I got issues, like everybody else. You know what I mean? But when you talk about dreams or visions, there was a period of time, and I talk about this in my book, where I had to ask the Lord to help me dream again. I had
Mm,
forgotten how to dream. And that was a neat process. I started getting ideas, and that's when I went back to grad school and got my clinical mental health license and went to private practice, and then just different things just started, ideas just started coming, and that's when the whole podcast thing was very organic, and now I'm learning, and I've got some goals where that's concerned, and I'm starting to meet goals, and I'm like, I've got all these things that I want to do. And remember, I never saw any older women.
mm,
My mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncles, they are all, I'm 60, I'm over 60. They all died before 60. So
mm,
I didn't see anybody do. First of all, these things, there was no such thing as podcasts, but the idea of reinventing, of doing new things, of
mhm,
you know, my core friend group here is younger than I am, at least by 10 years, some 20.
mhm,
And I don't say that to be like I'm trying to be something I'm not. I'm
mm,
not. But that's where my energy and my interests. I'm more, I like that music better than my own, like whatever. I
yeah,
just relate to, largely to people that are younger than me, but it just gives me energy. And because I never saw anybody do these new things, reinvent themselves, I didn't know you couldn't.
mm,
I didn't have a limit. I didn't know how to, but nobody told me I couldn't.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I've got goals and things or that I hope to experience that some people might be planning to do 20 years younger than me.
Mm,
But and I still, and I've said this a few times on my podcast or in other conversations, that the lie that drags at me is like, girl, you too old to be trying to, like, well, who you think you are, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
mm.
but the reality is, what better time though?
If not now,
What better
when?
time? If not,
Mhm,
not only if not now, when, but when I know more. I've been more places. I've been through more things. I
mm,
have resources I didn't have. I'm not bothered with raising kids. I'm not.
It's
What
different.
better time? It's different. And
Hmm.
so why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't even know. I got off talking. I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, I
What?
mean, but that's good though, because when you talk about when you talk about how you would kind of talk to yourself like that, I too be like, man, I was supposed to blow up when I'm in my 20s. Like I was like, man, I was supposed to blow up my 20s, but now I would have been a hot mess. I would have not been grounded. I would have not been down to earth. I would have been high, sedity, uppity, judging folk. The Lord knew exactly what He was trying to do. Even then, having a baby on top of that, it's like, oh, you okay? I thought I was ready before Chancellor. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Now it's like I have a softer heart for people. You know, I can give
Mm.
people way more grace. I used to be like cutthroat with them, like, I'm done. Now it's like, ooh, give them grace. Give them grace.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's such
Mm.
a different vibe now. And it's crazy because I know he of course he still has so much more work to do in me. But
Sure.
like I definitely thought Kiss by Boat should have been blown up. You know what I'm saying? We ain't quite blown up yet, but it's just like the discipline that I have now. I would have never had this in my 20s. Like as you know, as an entrepreneur, the discipline is very different.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. It gotta come out of your butt. I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
It gotta come out of you, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like how, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely does because you know your purpose. But and the question was, how do you stay grounded? You answer that with your vision. You answer that. You said you don't get swayed. You don't be swayed by the
Mhm.
culture, the
Mhm.
now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel
Mhm.
like that's really, really good. But how do you tell somebody to not get swayed? How do you tell somebody to
Mhm.
stick true to their vision and not be swayed by the culture, by their
Mhm.
environment, uh by their environment? You know, how do you tell people to not get swayed?
First of all, I'm like, breathe.
Mm,
Everything is information.
mm,
Just information.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
and I can't I'm not I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that, sometimes I find myself in rooms where I look at these women and I have those moments of comparison and I feel like I don't
yeah.
belong. Like these are some badasses. They've been achieving for a long time and I took almost 20 years out. And I'm like, I didn't take 20 years out. I did something different.
Yeah.
I invested in my children and in my husband and in my home and in myself. And
Mhm.
I had things that slowed me down. And I've been building this testimony, building a
Yes.
testimony, building strength, building experiences, building credibility for myself. And
Yeah.
so your call is for you, and their call is for them. Well, I've
Yeah.
seen, the wisdom of Instagram. I probably spend way too much time on social media, but there have been some nuggets that I pick up sometime from people that I follow on Instagram, and it was
Mhm.
something like your calling was not a conference call. It was a or something like that. Like God didn't call the community and say, "I want Davia to do this." Like
He didn't. He talked to you only.
talk to me. And so my responsibility is to the one who called, not to. Now, he will use, if that is God's intention, my story. I hear you talking about it's a time for radical obedience. That's been a phrase
Radical
I've heard you
obedience.
use. Radical obedience. But even that, like God's a 360 God, man. It's like even what's for you isn't just about you or just for you.
Almost cried. That's so real. That this transition that we're going through,
Hmm.
I was telling Charles, I said, this ain't even about us for real. I think we think it's about us, but once it's not. It's so not. I'm just seeing how just so many, people are, the reactions are different, X, Y, and Z. It's just like, okay, Lord. Like I'm telling my friends, like, okay, I'm going through this transition. They like, you know what? Tiffany, the main one, she's like, you know what? I think I need to do this. Or my one friend was like, you know what? I think I need to do this. I think it's time for me to move, or I think I need to change my career. It's so crazy how it's like I said it's like a trickle, it's like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's real. And I feel like a lot of times we think it's only solely about us, and it's like it's so much bigger than this. It's so much bigger than us.
It is for freedom
Mm. Mm.
that we've been set free.
Mm.
For freedom might be her freedom that you've been set free. It might be
Mm.
for Chancellor's freedom that you've been set free. It might be.
Mm.
It is for. So as you continue to walk in those places, taking, steps of faith, taking practical steps, right?
Yeah.
Both matter. You can be somebody that sits around and wonders and has ideas, and I'm just listening radically, and don't take any steps, and you may be right where you are. I think there's a practical component
Mm-hmm.
to living out those callings of faith.
Yeah.
Um, we are built for community. We are in community. God's in community with God, with self. You know what I mean? Like, so we're built for that. And so our stories are intertwined, even in places where we don't know they are. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know who we inspire.
We don't. We don't know
No. You
who
could be
literally got
walking
on.
down the street
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know what somebody's story is. That's been one of the ethoses of my podcast. It's like you just don't know what the person next door holds. And if they get a chance to tell some of their story, I guarantee you there'll be something you'll connect with that may inspire you to live further into your story, who may inspire the next person, who may inspire the next person. I don't know what's going to come out of this conversation. I don't know how many people are on Instagram. May only be a couple. They may watch it
Mm-hmm.
in the on the replay, but somebody
Somebody.
is going to hear something
Mm-hmm.
out of this conversation when
Mm-hmm.
they hear it. May not
Mm-hmm.
be right when they hear it. This is
Yeah.
no, this is out there for forever, right?
Exactly.
That may encourage them. And isn't that what we want to do?
And that's, I think that's
Isn't that
happened.
what you want to do even with your fashion?
Leaving a legacy. That's real. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's so real. I feel like one time me and Charles, when Chance was in Akron, we went to Walmart. We came back. We went to this little bar over here called the Black Hat. We said, let's just go. Let's go hang out. Can I tell you? We end up talking to this Asian and white couple all night. They were moving to Japan. The husband was crying on Charles's shoulder. The
Wow.
wife was like, I'm so sad. I just now met you and we about to move out. This shout out to me and them because they may be watching because they on Facebook. But like when I tell, we was at their apartment. Now we don't know these folk from Adam, but because they live right across the street, because they're down the street. We ended up going to their apartment, talking to them, just like speaking life into a white, and I know I think there was white and like Mexican. But can I tell you, we don't know these folk from Adam. We black couple in Dublin, talking to these people all night till like 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, how we do. He crying. He over here like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'm made for this. Like, I'm not worthy of this. He said he ain't come from nothing. Me and Charles was just talking to the people. And when I tell you, it was just like we were supposed to be there that night. We was gonna go somewhere else to the bar and hang out. We were supposed to be there that night. And it's crazy how the Lord put us in position and we don't even know it. And
Yeah.
it's just like obedience is so real. And I be telling everybody that like obedience is real. But Tiffany be saying that she said, Bracia, obedience is real, but you actually doing obedience is different, like you just said. You actually walking it out. Because we could talk about it all day. All day. But it's just like I just ain't got time to not do it no more. I'm tired of throwing stuff on the wall and seeing if it stick
Yeah. Yeah.
because it ain't sticking. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but
I'm
even
just
that was part of your journey. Those times when you were throwing it at the wall. Like that prepared you for the time for you to understand the difference between just, talking about it and doing it. It's all valuable. It's
it
all
is.
useful. Whatever stage you're in, it's your
That is.
stage.
That
You know.
is.
Yeah.
Everything works together. All
Yeah.
things. Not little,
Yeah.
not some, but
Yeah.
all things. I love
All.
that. One piece before we leave out, I
Yeah.
want you, what's a piece of wisdom that you'd like to leave with anyone struggling to love themselves right now? To
Hmm.
not to no, just to love themselves right now. What's one
Hmm.
piece
Hmm.
of wisdom you can leave with them?
Hmm. Wow, one piece. Okay, well, there might be a couple little pieces. I'm just gonna
That's
start
fine.
talking and see
That's
what
fine.
what comes out. As I think about my journey and even those times when I don't know that when I'm not so grounded in my love for myself. And I would say love for yourself it's radical,
Mm,
it's comprehensive, but it's not selfish. And
mm,
so, for me to love myself, it's not for um, to make myself grand. It's not for self-aggrandizement. It's for connection to my creator, to my purpose, to myself, to my testimony.
mm-hmm,
And so, um, I don't want your love for yourself to be cheapened
mm.
by trends.
Mm.
I love myself because now I take baths and I do this and I do these things and I whatever. I think, I talk about the premise of my book. I'm going to talk about my book a little bit. A Month of
Yes. Oh.
Sundays, elevating self care to soul care. And I think the way you really love yourself, the way you really take care of yourself is when you lean into those things you've been avoiding.
Mm.
Right? You said it was hard for you in the beginning to have difficult conversations because there was something that felt at risk for you. Something you
Mm.
were afraid of risking by having a difficult conversation. And you find out that the more that you lean into those things, they're actually building freedom in your relationships as opposed to the thing you feared the most. Lean into the
Yes.
stuff you've been avoiding. That's
Yes.
a big part of how you elevate. Do those things. Go on vacation, go to the spa, get if you're able, and everybody ain't, if you're able, do those things. But don't do those things by way of escape. Because
Mm.
you can love yourself if you never have the money to go to the spa.
You sure can.
If you never get to leave town, right? And so I would say um, patience,
Mm.
grace for
Mm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to yourself like you would talk to somebody you cared about.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember one of the assignments I often do with clients is many of us have phrases that we say on repeat. I can't, I should, I need to, um, whatever, this little something, you idiot, whatever it is, we have these phrases we repeat. And so in the course of maybe a therapy session or what have you, I pick up on those things and I'm like, count them. I want you
Mm.
to come back next week with hash marks, count how many times you said should, or how
Mm.
many times you said I need to, or what.
Mm.
Just start to become aware of how much you're shaming yourself with your own language.
Mm.
And I want you to see a practical representation of that by all the time. You're going to come back with 500 times I said in 5 days. I
Mm.
should, I should, I should.
No, that's real. That's
That's
real.
weight. There is power in the words we speak over ourselves. So how about you start by befriending yourself?
Mm.
Don't have to start with no big old changes. Just start by befriending yourself.
That's
When you
real.
start to befriend yourself, you'll start to have grace for yourself. You'll start to see yourself in context. You'll start to see that maybe I'm worth a difficult conversation or disciplined action
Mm.
or a better relationship or just start.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. See, listen, if ain't nobody got nothing from this, I got something from this. Sydney, did you get something? I know look, she over there listening. Yes. Listen, Miss Divya, I am just so honored. I am so honored to just be connected with you because you got
Uh,
gems. I'm over here just thinking of all kinds of stuff like, oh, what can we can do this, we can do this, we can and just everything just flowing through my mind. But listen,
well,
I am
I
so
have always
grateful.
believed in you, Bracia, from the
Thank
time I met you. I've
thank
always believed in you, and I try to, show practical support
you.
for
And you
you.
have. Hey,
So
hey, I
yeah,
listen. I appreciate
yeah.
it. Listen, Miss Davy is one of my clients. I was doing the closet order. I said I ain't doing closet orders no more. I said this ain't for me. I
Yeah,
said
I had to say I don't believe this is your gift, sis.
I said this ain't it. I said I style you all day, but
Yeah,
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 that ain't
yeah,
it. But like
yeah.
you have, and you actually showed me, like me and Charles, you showed us like this life is possible. Cause listen, I ain't trying to put your business out there, but your house is bad. Okay, bad. Okay, and I think me and Fatima was talking about it. I said, hey, when she have a little cooking out the house, I'm trying to get over there because listen, it's bad. It's bad. Okay. And it's
Thank
just
you.
showing, and even when Charles is in there, he's seen it. Like my parents got a nice house too, but like your house is nice. You feel me? And just showing him seeing that too is like, yo, this is possible. We seeing people right
Black
here,
people that we
black
know.
people that we know we can touch and feel and talk to them. This is possible. And I'm so very grateful, like I said, to be connected to you. Like you never know, I was supposed to be at Nordstrom that day to meet Miss with Nike to put me on with you. I was supposed, and I was like, why was I working at Nordstrom? To meet you. That was probably what it was. I'm telling you, it wasn't nothing, I ain't learned nothing else at that store, you know what I'm saying? But
Well, I
again, so
tell you, if
grateful
there was one thing that I just hate I missed was your wedding. Man,
because you know it was a party of the year.
I know it was. And I
Party
just wanted to celebrate you. I loved all the videos and the
of
photos and but I wanted to be there to see you be a bride. I can't remember what kept me, but something kept me. Oh, I
some
remember
lady,
what it
it was
was
an
a
older
family. It was a
lady.
family. You got married in October, right? You're coming up on
Mhm.
your anniversary.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, it was the family trip to
Yeah.
Dallas every year. That's what it was. Yeah, my aunt and Aunt Belle was going. Yeah, I
I remember
remember
you said
now.
your aunt, she was an older lady. You said the
She's
older
still
lady.
here though. She 91. She'll be 92.
Well,
She's
amen.
still
She keep
here.
on trucking. That's what I'm
She
talking
keeps on
about.
trucking. Yeah,
On.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. But again, I'm
yeah.
just so grateful. Tell the people what you got going on, what they need to look forward to, your podcast, when it drops, all that good stuff. Tell people.
Yeah, Tales from the Shaker. It's on all your podcast platforms, and the video is on YouTube at my YouTube channel, Davia Williams Stevenson. My book is called A Month of Sundays, Elevating Self-Care to Soul Care. You can buy it on Amazon or from my website, daviastevenson.com. My name's on everything because Davia is an unusual name, so I've been using it
Uh-huh.
for all the things. I'm enjoying opportunities to speak at different places. My second, me and our partner Jamie, our second women's retreat is coming up in the fall. The Well Women
Okay.
Empowering, Lifting, and Listening in
Mm,
November. I need to make sure you come back to do that if you're gone.
uh-huh. For sure.
Um,
For sure.
so yeah, I think that's. I mean, there's just I don't know, and then I don't know what's next. I got some thoughts, some things I want to do
Mm,
um, that
mm.
I'm that seem bigger than me. Seem like I probably can't do it. And
That means
so what they say,
that
your
means
dream should scare you a little bit.
that means it's the Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
That means it's the Lord.
So I'll keep you updated.
Please do, please do. And
Yeah.
again, I appreciate you so much for just taking your time out of your family because the family at the house, taking your time out the family and coming on here and dropping these gems and points in people because I know
Yeah.
it was a blessing for me and for Tiffany and for Chancellor. So I know the people was blessed. So thank you so much. I
My pleasure, hon.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. And listen, you stay right there. I'm gonna say bye to the people and then we gonna talk. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you so
Okay.
much.
All righty.